Okay, here's a question that I've been wondering for a long time, and I just can't get an answer. I've read magazine articles, I've tried to look it up in encyclopedias, I've looked on Wikipedia. Yeah, that's a real helpful thing there. I've racked my brain trying to come up with the answer to this question, and only certain ones of you out there would be able to actually answer this question, and you know who you are. My question to you is this: exactly how are you superior to anyone else in the world? Now, I know myself personally, I am superior to some people, like my cousin. He's just not as smart as I am. Poor dumb guy. Come to think of it, he's only slightly smarter than you are. That's pretty sad. Still others can't run as fast as I can, and still others don't make as much as I do at their thankless dead-end jobs as I do at my thankless dead-end job. So how are you superior to all these people? Is it because you're in the majority? Superior by sheer numbers? Well, I really hate to burst your bubble. Actually, I really enjoy bursting your bubble. I think it'd be great if I could burst your bubble. Yeah, well. But the white population only makes about 15% of the population of the world. That's only around 1 billion, or close to 1 in 5. And if you're talking about whites in the United States, then the numbers and percentages are a lot lower. So sorry to break it to you, but you're in the minority. If, on the other hand, you think you're superior in intellect, then I'm afraid there's more bad news. Some studies show that, some studies suggest that the Chinese, the Japanese, and the Koreans have that sewn up as well. Since some studies suggest their average IQ is around 105, but there's really no way to tell what the most intelligent race on the earth is. But it's a good bet it's not you. Perhaps you mean that you're superior in empire building. And sadly, once again, you're wrong. Here's a breakdown of the top 10 largest empires by population in history. As you can see, the only real white empire is at a whopping number 10, and that empire is full of the Irish, the Scotch, the Welsh, and the British, all of which you claim to be superior to. If you want to know, the American empire came in somewhere between 17 and 20, again, depending on which statistics you read. Now we'll just talk about the white supremacists in the United States. We'll let your fellow retards from around the world go. How about if maybe, just maybe, you're thinking in world education, the United States being number 1 in education and finance, being number 1 in technology. Well, in this case, the United States comes in at a whopping 10 out of 19, just over the average mark, but only just. Let's try one more. Maybe it's because you're superior in your country's efficiency. The efficiency of your government. Interestingly enough, the United States comes in around 6 out of 10, or 60%. It's still average. So in world terms, so far, there's nothing and no one you're superior to. Maybe there's some deformed, mentally deficient amoeba, paramecium, or planarians that you're superior to. It's doubtful, but maybe. It could happen. This is America. Okay, now let's look at some maps. This first one is hate groups by congressional district. This map comes from the Southern Poverty Law Center. The 12 dark red states are the states with the most hate groups. The light red, fewer, the light blue, even less, and the dark blue with the fewest. We'll look at it again in a moment. Here's another one. All the info about where it comes from is on the map. As you can see, this one shows basically the states with the best and worst high schools in the country. This would be what is known as an education map. Can you say education? I'll put these two maps together so you can study them, and you might just see something interesting. I'll give you a few minutes. Here are the names of the 12 states with the most hate groups in them. They aren't in any particular order. Delaware, West Virginia, Arkansas, Mississippi, Alabama, South Carolina, Wyoming, Montana, Idaho, Nevada, and Iowa. Now, to save a little time, I took the liberty of looking up the the average yearly income of these 12 states and made a little graph, and here it is. Pretty simple. This is how it breaks down. The name of the state, of course, is on the left. The ranking of its high school is in the middle. The state's average income is on the right. It looks pretty damn inconclusive, doesn't it? Until you really study it. You'll see that aside from Nevada, the rest are pretty much lagging behind in either income or education or both. The average income for this graph, courtesy of the Census Bureau, is $54,168 per year. Only 2 states are over the average. They're Nevada and Delaware. And they're in the 3rd 10 percentile and 5th 10 percentile, respectively. All the rest of our amazing 12 are below both the national average in income and the 50 percentile mark in education. Most of these are southern states, and this tells me that Billy Bob just ain't no rocket scientist. So as you can see, you've nothing to feel superior about. You're superior to no one. Maybe, just maybe, in a perfect world, you would die a superior death, and all your little buddies would throw you a superior going-away party just before sticking their heads in their ovens or drinking some of Jim Jones's famous Kool-Aid and joining you. So we won't have to be subjected to any more of your malignant ranting. So here's a good idea. Go out, get a real life, and piss off. Have a nice day.